On the road to MotoGP, this is FAB-Racing.
This is the formation up getting underway. Casey Gorman from pole position, Sullivan, Mounsey P2, David FERNS P3 and Noah GUILLERY P4 with Rossi, BANHAM and Stephen Brooks on the third row of the grid. Then it's Jack Andrews, your champion from last year in P7, Adam Redding is P8, then there's Dan MERRON, Yann GUILLERY and Ben Ridgewell rounding out the grid. And well, as I was saying, Casey Gorman, Casey Gorman is, sorry Lewis, I didn't mean to accidentally messed up our live time there, didn't mean to do that. Casey Gorman, he is an absolutely fantastic talent. I mean, again, put it into perspective, British Talent Cup last year, he won the championship after missing 3 rounds, 6 races from an injury, and then rocks back up and still wins the championship. I mean, that's pretty special to do that.
Yeah, it really is. He had a massive crash at Knockhill at turn 1 at Duffus Step last year, snapping his bike in 2 actually, but he made it back for the end of the season and still managed to win the championship. And last year in the FAB Championship, he won a race after crashing, which just shows his true potential that we have as we wait for the lights to go on. And the lights are on. The lights are off and away we go. As we see it, Sullivan Mounsey makes a great start, but Casey Gorman is squeezing him out. Going into the first turn, Casey Gorman is going to try pull the pin straight away here without letting Sullivan Mounsey interrupt his flow.
Oh, it was a great start from Sullivan Mounsey down the outside, but Casey Gorman gave it what for. He was not having any of it coming out of turn 1, and he leads this race. Noah GUILLERY, Sullivan Mounsey even up to P2, GUILLERY up to P3 as well. But, great stuff from Casey Gorman. And, I don't think this is a track that's entirely suited to his riding style, to be honest. But, you're going to see why this kid is so revered among the motorcycle racing world already in just a short moment's time when he absolutely streaks off into the distance. I mean, as you said, Lewis, he's already been called up to the British Talent, not the British Talent Cup, he's been called up to the Red Bull Rookies MotoGP Cup as well. Also got called up to the European Talent Cup. He's the British Talent Cup champion from last year. Again, vice champion of this last year after showing up for 2 rounds and didn't finish one of the races because his bike basically exploded over there. He is absolutely phenomenal. But he's got some stiff competition in Sullivan Mounsey, so we'll have to see what he can do. Again, very different bikes between the two of them. I mean, look at the gap that O'Gorman's pulled already. Unfortunately, his transponder doesn't seem to be working at the moment, but he's it's quite a visual gap already for Casey Gorman. Oh, he's gone down to the final corner. O'Gorman's in the wall. I don't believe it. Casey Gorman has come off his bike at the final corner, gets back on and gets going again. Is he coming into the pits? Yeah. O'Gorman looks like he's done. So just after I was talking about how much of a gap he's pulled, O'Gorman in the wall at the final corner, and that could be him finished. Coming into the pits there, I'm not sure what happens, but it's going to be Mounsey that leads this race. Not entirely sure what's happened there, but Casey Gorman, disaster of him. Sullivan Mounsey will very happily take that. That looks to be easy. Yeah, Casey Gorman, he's either, it looks like his bike's leaking. I can see out the window his bike's leaking oil, so more oil troubles for Casey Gorman, it would seem. Looks like he's done so. It looks like his bike's maybe leaked onto his back wheel and he's gone down. Disaster. Yeah, it really is. Sullivan Mounsey's going to feel like all his Christmases have came at once. He is leading this race now by a solid 1 second over David FERNS. Casey Gorman's going to be absolutely devastated with having mechanical issues. Hopefully they can get sorted for tomorrow so he can show his true pace. Because obviously, as we said earlier, FAB-Racing, he will still be starting on the front row tomorrow if he can get out. Yeah, of course, just to remind you, if you've forgotten or you're new to FAB-Racing, very, very strange qualifying format here. 2 qualifying sessions, your times combined, that determines where you're on the grid for all 3 races. So wherever you qualify, that's where you start for the entire weekend. So don't worry, I'm sure they'll get that bike fixed up and he'll be back out there tomorrow and he'll back out competing. But a big shame there for Casey Gorman, more mechanical issues with his pit bike, which we saw last year, and we're seeing it again in 2022, and that is such a shame. But that is motorsports, and unfortunately, sometimes it's a cruel mistress, is it? That's a shame for him. Out of the race he goes. Sullivan Mounsey though leads the way. 8 laps to go. David FERNS in P2 with Noah GUILLERY P3. David FERNS currently now has the fastest lap of the race. The rider's on track of 42.690. He's really pushing. Really getting a move on. Sullivan Mounsey might be coming under pressure in a little while. Noah GUILLERY as well. Well, he's now getting under pressure from Rossi BANHAM from behind as well. Rossi BANHAM also in this race. He turned up to the circuit last night. It's important to note, he did no practice. Turned up to the circuit last night, essentially did this morning, qualified, and is now out there and competing for podium places.
Yeah, it really is. What we just seen on the pit wall, actually looking outside our windows, Casey Gorman watching the race himself, lean over the pit wall. He's now speaking to fellow racers about what's happened, but it just shows once again how tight knit this championship is and how much a family atmosphere it really is. Because although his race,
oh no! I believe that's Noah Guillory that's gone down. Yes, it is.
He's up on his feet.
Yeah, he's up on his feet, so just the back end of the bike stepping out. Too much speed, maybe through the corner, but the bike goes down, shaking the head, but he'll be back on. That's Rossi BANHAM, then easily up into P3. And again, that's an easy, again, very clever racing from Rossi BANHAM there. Just shows one of the things you can do. Pressure your opponent to pushing too hard and making a mistake, and down goes Noah Guillory. And he drops down the field. Rossi BANHAM, he didn't even have to make an overtake, and he gets P3.
Yeah, but exactly. Stephen Brooks, though, is on the back of Rossi BANHAM, and he's going to be wanting to get into that third place position, so we're going to have to watch and see how this race unfolds, as Sullivan Mounsey still under pressure from David FERNS on two different type of motorcycles.
Indeed, you've got that GP style motorcycle, and then you've got that pit bike style motorcycle behind him, and it's basically a battle of who's what. And Sullivan as well, he's pushing very, very hard. Well, you can see as well, he's much shorter than David FERNS as well, because he's a very different seating position on the bike. You can just tell he's a much smaller rider, so he's got that, obviously that lightweight advantage. But David FERNS has the fastest lap of the race at the moment. He's also lapping faster than Mounsey as it stands. Still got 5 laps to go as they come through to the back end of the circuit. And well, this is where, in theory, the GP bike should be king. It should be absolutely phenomenal through these fast sections, and then coming through these first tight chicanes, that's where the pit bike should really be in a class of its own. But it seems to be that David FERNS is just closing that gap.
Yeah, he is, as we have 4 laps to go in this race, with David FERNS setting the fastest lap of the race. But there's absolutely nothing in it between these two riders, which is what we want to see in this class. As although they're on 2 different type of motorcycles, they can both compete up front, and it's great to see for both Sullivan Mounsey and David FERNS. Rossi BANHAM, on the other hand, to set a 43.7 every time round, so a bit off first and second's pace, but I definitely think this is a result that he's going to want. Stephen Brooks, on the other hand, is just 2 tenths behind Rossi BANHAM, which is going to put the pressure on Rossi BANHAM, and Rossi BANHAM's going to hope he does not crack underneath this pressure. It's going to be a real test, as we see Sullivan Mounsey trying to get past the back marker. Will this help David FERNS? Will it slow down Sullivan Mounsey? He's going around the outside, David FERNS on the inside. Has it slowed him down? I think it's closed the gap just slightly, but there's still nothing there. Sullivan Mounsey's going to be wanting to try and push as hard as he can to try and get away from David FERNS over this next lap. David FERNS, on the other hand, is going to see an opportunity here with back markers starting to come into play, and Sullivan Mounsey almost looking like he's getting his elbow down for his GP style, riding style that he has, and he's able to use his bike as he does the Doctor's Dangle going into the final corner as we come across the line. Just have 2 laps to go. 2 laps to go in this race, with David FERNS still closely behind, 4 tenths away now. He was 1 tenth slower that time round, even though Sullivan Mounsey hit traffic, which just shows how hard Sullivan Mounsey is pushing in this race, with Rossi BANHAM is still in 3rd place, but 10 seconds behind, so he's definitely not going to come into play, and 3rd place looks to be the best he's going to achieve in this race. Stephen Brooks is still behind Rossi BANHAM, just 3 tenths off, as we just become the last lap of this race. Adam Redden, who we've not talked about that much this race, is having a good ride, a consistent ride, as we head on to the final lap of this race. Sullivan Mounsey still leads by 4 tenths of a second by having a 42.7 last time round, which is the exact same as David FERNS. Absolutely nothing in it, as Stephen Brooks is past Rossi BANHAM. Wow, this is what we need to see in the final lap of the race. Sullivan Mounsey comes round. not too long left. Back marker in front of them. Rossi Barrowman's going to be wanting to try to get his podium position as well. But David FERNS also wants this win, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Sullivan Mounsey rounds the final corner and wins the race. The checker flag is out, and first win this season in the first race this season. Who would have thought it going into this race? We're waiting to see who's going to get third place. So it'll be Stephen Brooks or Rossi Bannerman. And we wait to see who comes across the line first. And it's Stephen Brooks. Rossi Bannerman will want to up that tomorrow to get onto the podium as we wait for the rest of the bikes to come round. As we see Sullivan Mounsey on his in lap, absolutely delighted with that. He's absolutely had a little trying to wheelie there from Sullivan Mounsey. He is happy with that. As we see already just slowing down. As you see Sullivan Mounsey wins by 0.3 of a second, and number 34 bike from David Thern just 3/10 away, with Stephen Brooks getting third.
Racing.
As we're lining up on the grid, Gorman from Mounsey on the front row. Looks like Mounsey hasn't actually lined up quite alongside Gorman, but well, here we go then. Extreme 200s. We wait for the point to the lights from the marshal. There is the point to the lights, so we all know what happens now. It's lights on. Lights off, we're underway here. A few wheelies pops here and there, but looks like Casey. No, it's Sullivan Mounsey after Casey. Gorman can't get the traction down, so Sullivan Mounsey manages to slide into the lead through turn one. But Casey Gorman, well, these two already shooting off into the distance. What is the response going to be from the current British Talent Cup champion up the inside? There's the response, and he's already back to the lead. There's a reason he won the British Talent Cup after missing 3 rounds with an injury and a big crash and knockhill. Straight into the lead, and he will be surely shooting off into the distance now. No discredit to Sullivan Mounsey, of course, but that bike and that rider in Casey Gorman at 172, it's a phenomenal combination. Further down the grid, it all looks to be okay. A few close battles here and there, some overtakes being launched into the final corner. Of course, again, no infield use here. There is O'Gorman, there is Mounsey completing lap 1, 11 to go. And so Gorman from Mounsey, from David FERNS the grid. A few riders changing places here and there, but overall it's all action stations.
Yeah, it certainly is. O'Gorman not getting the best start there, but I do believe he has a 2-stroke engine inside his motorcycle. So off the line it's going to be a lot trickier to get that in the power band, as we know 4-stroke engines that Sullivan Mounsey's on has more power at lower revs.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, 2-stroke engines. Again, if you're new to FAB, you're not the most technically astute. 2 or 4-stroke engines here in the 200 class. It's all about essentially how many strokes, how many basically revolutions the engine does before it does bang and makes power. 2-stroke engines, you've basically got to keep the revs as high as you possibly can. All the power is in the high rev range. It's the same with all 2-strokes, same in bikes, same in karts, same in cars, although you don't really get 2-strokes in cars nowadays. It's all about keeping the revs as high as possible. 4-strokes, power band is much lower. You can really make some slow down the 2-stroke. You've got to carry that momentum through the corner. It's a very, very tricky riding style that you really do have to get used to if you've not ridden on a 2-stroke before. It's all about just keeping the revs high, make yourself flow through the corner. You've got to adapt your braking, your cornering, your acceleration technique to it. It's all about getting that power down nice and early, keeping the revs high, driving out the corner, because that's where the power is. That's how you quit. Casey Gorman, fastest lap of the race, 41.618. That's I don't think that's going to be breaking lap records just yet. We did see it last time. Lap record extreme time set by Charlie NESBITT, who was on the grid today. It was set back in 2020 at 40.630. Let's see what Casey can do. Of course, as the tyres have been getting warm, the brakes have been again. It's very cold in there, so we've been seeing the bikes warming up quite slowly, so as the race goes on, it just gets faster and faster and faster. It's a big 1-2 laps and then it's on. It's just slowly coming to the riders out there, and let's see what he can do. I mean, we've seen just 1 lap left or broken. Maybe Casey, maybe Sullivan Mounsey feeling like it. It's still pretty close between those two, about a second separating at the moment. Let's see what happens over the remaining 8 laps.
Yeah, Casey Gorman though, I do believe is somewhat helping Sullivan Mounsey, as they're about a second quicker from yesterday's fastest lap time. So he's being able to show Sullivan Mounsey where he can go faster and where he can improve on the circuit. As we see Casey Gorman sitting our fastest lap of 31.4. Touching on the 2-stroke subject quickly, the Lydd circuit really does accommodate to 2-stroke engines with the fast flowing nature of the circuit, dubbed the South Karting, means means that it's easier to keep the revs up than if they use the infield, for example.
Yeah, of course. I mean, Lydd first constructed back in 1993. Very, very narrow, but very long and very, very fast. We see a few moves being made here. That's Noah Guillory under attack from Stephen Brooks. Up the inside goes Brooks, and Lydd gets the move, and I believe further back as well. Jack Andrews and Charlie Nesbitt battling. I mean, there's a lot of bikes very, very close to get here, but yet Brooks up to P4 from Noah Guillory and further back as well. I believe that's Nesbitt on Jack Andrews. Tried to have a look. But, well, as you said, yeah, it's a circuit that's very, very suited to two-strokes. Lots of fast corners, lots of, high-speed sections. There's all poking a wheel up the inside of Guillory. Oh, big coming together there.
Rossi BANHAM, one of the riders down there, I believe.
Yeah, it was. That was, I think that was Rossi BANHAM going down. And I'm not quite sure who the other one was. I believe it might be Simon Huntingford. He's gone down. That was Charlie Nesbitt. So Charlie Nesbitt and Rossi BANHAM. Rossi BANHAM clutching his elbow, but they're both up on their feet. Big accident there. Of course, yellow flags out. Both seem to be walking. Both seem to be okay. Of course, safety is absolutely paramount here at FAB-Racing. It's the main priority. Of course, we want to have fun. Of course, we want to see close racing, but we also care for the riders. We want to make sure that they are absolutely okay. Rossi BANHAM just trying to fix up his bike a little bit, but it looks like they're both okay. But a big accident between the two of those two. Casey Gorman still leading, no gaps now up to 3.2 seconds. Still lapping in the 41.4s. Although last time out was 4.6. And, well, as they get going, once again, hopefully, a bit of an incident there. And that's a shame for Charlie Nesbitt, for Rossi BANHAM. Rossi BANHAM seems to be having a transponder issue because he's not showing up on the live timing, which he won't be on the timing screen on the left, unfortunately. That was him on the circuit, that wasn't going down. That is him still there trying to get his bike started again. So clearly having issues getting going.
Yeah, he certainly is, with Casey Gorman still leading the way by 4.2 seconds now. So he's just going to take it home now, but of course with it being Casey Gorman, he's just going to play about, have fun, and push as hard as he can, it looks like. And the bike certainly looks great today.
Yeah, it does indeed. No oil leaking to be anywhere to be found as he actually runs over the grass a bit there. Such the aggressive line over the curb. I mean, of course, these pit bike style bikes, they can, as we said, riding all over the curbs, riding all over the grass. Casey's such a talent, isn't he? I mean, it's, of course, we've had many a FAB graduate go on to bigger and better things, in the British Talent Cup. And Casey, getting called up to the Red Bull Moto GP Rookies Cup this year alongside Eddie O'Shea, another FAB graduate. Of course, he's got called up to the European Talent Cup as well. I'm not entirely sure if he's going to be entering into that, but he did get the call up for it. And he is such a special talent. I mean, you can see there, it's obviously clear when he's out on the racetrack.
Yeah, Casey Gorman is an amazing rider. It's great to have him here at FAB. He's able just to tell the younger riders some information that he has from his experience, and you can just see how confident he is in that motorcycle. Slamming the bike down onto his knee, trusting the tyres. He trusts the bike even after yesterday. That is what makes him such a good rider. Although the bike went against him yesterday and threw him down the road for no fault of his own, he's able to get instant trust in that motorcycle again and be fast.
Exactly. I mean, you can see there visually the gap between Gorman and Mounsey is quite massive now. 7 seconds in the gap. I think Mounsey maybe just taking it easy, having a few problems. His last lap was 2 seconds away from Gorman's last lap, with 2 laps to go this time by. Let's see if he's any faster this lap. Yeah, he also clearly some problems from Sullivan Mounsey, maybe some lap traffic on that final run around. But yeah, Gorman, he's a special talent. I mean, you don't need to know much about motorcycle racing to appreciate how quick he is. You can just be general car, motorsports, F1, whatever fan, even just a MotoGP, casual fan, turn up on a racetrack, watch him go around for a few laps, and it's so evident that this is a special talent that we have on our hands here. He will be going on to big things in the world of motorcycle racing. But of course, right now the big thing that's in his mind is finishing this race and taking home that medal. It's the final lap, the yellow and black flag out for Casey O'Gorman, and it's an even bigger gap this time around between himself and Sullivan Mounsey, the British Talent Cup champion, leading by 8 seconds. Of course, he won that championship after missing 6 races, 3 rounds through an injury, and still won that championship. That is the quality that is Casey Gorman. I mean, he's just special.
Yeah, he really is. He's so talented. As you mentioned earlier, it's just getting past some lap traffic, it seems. As you mentioned earlier, we only turned up for 2 rounds and nearly won the championship. As we see Casey O'Gorman heading down to the final corner now in the final lap of this race. As he goes to the line to take the race win, a wheelie from Casey O'Gorman. He's absolutely delighted from that as we wait for Sullivan Mounsey to come home in second place. Sullivan Mounsey coming around to take the checker flag now with an 8.1 second gap. Solid ride there from Sullivan Mounsey. Maybe not the result he was wanting, but there's always a race later.
Exactly. There is, of course, to remind you, 3 races in a FAB weekend, and well, another race to look forward to in the Extreme 200 class. Another race for Casey O'Gorman. Look forward to another race for Sullivan Mounsey to challenge for that lead. And as we get there is Casey O'Gorman winning by 8.1 seconds. The British Talent Cup champion returns to FAB and puts on a display. Sullivan Mounsey in second place, can't do anything about it. And it's David FERNS in P3 with Stephen Brooks in P4. Jack Andrews, reigning Extreme 200 champion, is P5, and Noah Guillory P6. Sam McIntyre in P7, Dan Merrin is P8, Adam Redding's P9, and Yann Guillory rounds up the top 10. I mean, I say that Casey O'Gorman's, of course, the British Talent Cup champion, but he's also the reigning Extreme 200 vice champion, and that's, of course, very important to remember.
As the marshal points up at the lights, as we wait for the lights to go on. Lights are on, lights are off, and we are go. As we see Sullivan Mounsey getting an amazing start with Casey O'Gorman just behind. Sullivan Mounsey, of course, got second place this morning, but will want to do one better today. Sullivan Mounsey leads the way from Casey O'Gorman. As Casey O'Gorman goes up the inside. What a move there from Casey O'Gorman. As we know, he's such a talented rider, but Sullivan Mounsey will not want Casey O'Gorman to get into a rhythm and will try to fight back as soon as possible.
As we've had Sullivan Mounsey had the lead for about an extra straight this time than he did this morning. Casey O'Gorman back into the lead, and that already a healthy gap there developing between the two of them. They, of course, have shot away from David FERNS as well in P3. Guillory P4 as well, a good stop here. Casey O'Gorman leads the first lap of the race. Sullivan Mounsey half a second away. David FERNS over a second away from Sullivan Mounsey. So those front two have quite literally shot off into the distance. But yeah, Casey O'Gorman, again, British Talent Cup champion from last season after missing 3 rounds from a really nasty injury. Came away, won the championship still, of course. He's the Extreme 200 vice champion from last season, despite only doing 2 rounds after doing so well. There is Rossi BANHAM going around in P5 at the moment on that 196 machine. Of course, again, he'll be looking for redemption after that pit bike incident earlier on when he was fighting for podium places. So lots of action to look forward to, lots of action going on here in the Extreme 200s. Maybe a look to the outside from Rossi BANHAM on Noah Guillory coming through the final turn. Rossi BANHAM, of course, got that pit bike style machine against that GP style machine. Of course, it's very, very difficult. The pit bike with the small wheel is very, very easy to get down and low to the ground. That GP style machine, it will be supreme in a straight line.
Yeah, it certainly will be. Casey O'Gorman leading the way by 1.2 seconds over Sullivan Mounsey. Casey O'Gorman, I believe, is already in his rhythm, and it's going to be hard to see anyone keeping up with him.
Yeah, well, we'll just have to wait and see if Sullivan Mounsey can make a response. Rossi BANHAM looking to the inside of Noah Guillory there, coming out of the right-hander, but unable to make any moves coming into the final turn. Again, has a look to the inside, he's got great drive off the corners, but the second that number 41 GP-style bike gets motoring, it's all really game over for Rossi BANHAM. He needs to get his move done and really going into a corner, kind of chop up the inside and hang him up to dry on the exit as well, and he might be able to get away with it right now. Just start following, start waiting for the opportunity to arise to get past Noah Guillory. Further back as well, you've got Brooks and Huntingford having a bit of a battle. Charlie Huntingford giving it his absolute all. We'll be seeing some of him later as well. But Brooks doing very, very well to defend from that GP-style bike at the moment. It's not what's so great about the Extreme 200 cars. You get these pit bike versus GP battles, which you would never, ever get in any other series ever. It's great fun to watch.
Yeah, it certainly is. Simon Huntingford down in 9th, got off to quite a bad start. His bike wheeling in a straight, going off the grid there, affecting his drive onto the first corner.
Yeah, exactly. Simon Huntingford in P9, of course, Charlie Huntingford's dad, Charlie, running in P7. So obviously you've got that father-son connection here at FAB. When we say it's like a family, we do mean it literally as well as literally. And As we head through the super fast right-hander there into the left, that S's back section, and then onto the back stretch. Full throttle, head down, go as fast as you can. And into the final corner will be 7 laps to go for these guys, this time by Keisha. Gorman absolutely flying. He's not far off the lap record either, only a couple tenths. He's been getting faster each lap, so the bike coming to him, so maybe a new lap record in the Extreme 200s as well for Keisha Gorman. We'll just have to wait and see. He's got a 3-second gap to Sullivan Mounsey as it stands, and Sullivan himself has a 4.5-second gap to David FERNS. So yeah, Casey absolutely flying out the front, but what would you expect? It's Keisha Gorman.
Yeah, he's such a talented rider. As we know, the 2021 British Talent Cup champion after missing multiple rounds due to a crash at Knockhill. He's vice champion, as you mentioned, last year after only doing 2 rounds of this championship. He crashed at the start of the weekend, and instantly in this race this morning he had confidence in the motorcycle. As you can see now, he's just throwing the bike about, placing it on his knee, trusting the tyres. Even though the bike has bit him so many times, he's able to have confidence in it and push as hard as he can, and is able to just get fastest lap after fastest lap after fastest lap.
Indeed, Casey, of course, a FAB graduate on his way to the Honda British Talent Cup. Of course, FAB is widely regarded as the gateway into the Honda British Talent Cup, and of course is also the official partner series to the Bennett's British Superbike Championship, and has been awarded the Dorna's Road to Moto GP accolade. So who knows, a few years time maybe we'll be seeing Keisha Gorman on the world stage. Really wouldn't surprise me. You know, we know he's a unbelievable talent, and given his domination in the British Talent Cup last year, he got the call up to the Red Bull Moto GP Rookies Cup alongside another FAB graduate, Eddie O'Shea, which is great to see. Of course, he did get the call up for the European Talent Cup. Whether he'll be participating or not, I'm not sure, but it's great to see. As we can see there, it looks like Charlie Huntingford's got ahead of Stephen Brooks once again, just some moves further up the pack as well. But yeah, great to see, you know, FAB graduates, you know, it's starting to succeed on the world stage as well, as they have in the past.
Yeah, it certainly is. It just shows the class of talent that is in this field that we're watching right now, and that is in all the classes here this weekend. There's talent all the way throughout the field, and it's just getting the right championship lined up, which we have in place here to get talent for the system.
Yeah, exactly. That was a big dive by Charlie Huntingford there, trying to get through Rossi BANHAM. I almost thought he wasn't going to make the corner. As we see there, Charlie Huntingford, of course, a Talent Cup rider this year. Rossi BANHAM, a Talent Cup rider last year, and now on his way to the BSB Super Stock Junior Championship. And of course, will be great to be seeing him on the television, as he inevitably. Great to be seeing up there with the BSB guys, and I can't wait to see what Rossi has in store for the future. But of course, can't wait to see what Charlie Huntingford has in store for the future as well in the British Talent Cup. Of course, the place to be for the up-and-coming talent on the British Isles in the world of motorcycle racing. There goes Charlie Huntingford, slingshotting his way past Rossi BANHAM. That GP bike in a straight line is so fast, but on the exit corner, Rossi BANHAM has the pace, but he can't respond to the power that is Charlie Huntingford. He moves up to P5 with 3 laps to go.
Yeah, 3 laps to go in this race. This battle that we're watching right now for 4th place is not just between the riders, it's between engines. There's 4-stroke and there's 2-stroke engines battling between each other. Rossi BANHAM, of course, just had an awful and disastrous Extreme 200 race, but he's going to be trying to redeem himself. He can see 4th place, it's still not out of reach. 2 laps to go. He knows he can do this. He's right on the back of Charlie Huntingford, and he's going to try to find a way past us. Charlie Huntingford looks, and then Charlie Huntingford's in 4th place heading down to the first corner. But will there be a switchback? He's got a switchback. He's through the inside. Noah cannot make it work. Charlie Huntingford leads the way in 4th place.
Great move there by Charlie Huntingford. His charge continues. 2 to go, penultimate lap. And up to P4 he goes. It's 11 seconds to David FERNS, so I don't think he's going to be achieving anything great. Casey Gorman on the final lap. If you look ahead slightly up the road, there's that battle we were just watching. There was Rossi BANHAM and Charlie Huntingford. Casey Gorman is like a quarter of the track behind them. That's the battle for 4th, and Casey Gorman is nearly lapping.
Yeah, Casey Gorman just ran a race of his own. He's 7.8 seconds up the road now from Sullivan Mounsey. It just shows the talent and the cool head that Casey Gorman has as he heads to the final straight. A back mark in front of him, but that will not bother him. He will go about his own business through the final corner. Another victory second win today on the second race today. Wheelies across the line. What a race from Casey O'Gorman.
Well, there you go, Casey O'Gorman. If you didn't know who he was, now you do. Get used to seeing him, because he'll be on your telly in a few years' time, be it BSB, be it World Superbikes, be it MotoGP. He will be somewhere. He will be winning championships, but it's not over yet, because Rossi BANHAM is challenging Noah Guillory for 5th place. Charlie Huntford is shot up and coming into the final corner. Can Rossi BANHAM pull any more of that magic as they come through? Rossi BANHAM round the outside. That'll be a great move. It's going to be neck and neck as they get to the line. Oh, Noah Guillory by 2/100ths of a second held it. That is millimeters. Wow, Noah Guillory holds on to 5th place. Amazing stuff. Rossi BANHAM can only manage 6th, but is super close with the drive out of the final corner. But who else would it be? Casey O'Gorman takes the victory with a 7.5 second winning gap, and I'm pretty sure he was taking it easy on the last few laps as well. Sullivan Mounsey brings it home in P2 with David FERNS rounding out the podium. Charlie Huntford on his absolute charge up the field goes to P4 with Noah Guillory and Rossi BANHAM separated by nothing in P5 and 6. And it's Stephen Brooks, Simon Huntingford, Jack Andrews and Adam Redding rounding out the field. And that concludes it for the Extreme 100. That concludes it for the pit bike style bikes this weekend. And well, what a weekend of racing we've seen in both this and the pit bike 140 classes.
Yeah, it's been great racing all weekend. Casey O'Gorman, an absolute masterclass there again. Rossi BANHAM so unlucky not to be able to get that 5th place, but he was using his pit bike 140 racing experience by using not only the track but then some. He tried his hardest, but he just got bet by 18 thousandths of a second.